And action.
Here we go with the chemical reactions. Here we go with the chemical reactions. Identify! Woo! Alright, all seriously now. So, chemical reactions are the process by which elements and or compounds interact with one another to form new substances. Now, we've been talking about this a lot in class, and now we're just going to kind of go into a little more detail about how you actually tell if a reaction is actually taking place.
So this is the chemical change we talked about, the new substance that's
Yes.
formed.
Right.
Awesome.
Right, so these are just ways of kind of recognizing a new
Yep.
substance.
Recognize.
Oh,
I took
yeah.
it. Boom. Pound it.
Drop it
Fire.
to the floor,
Recognize
Put
the
the
new
fire
substance.
out.
All right.
All right, so we're going to go through 4 pretty easy indicators.
Four.
Wait,
4.
4.
4? Okay.
Yeah, you don't need a thumb for that one.
And these are general indications.
Yeah. So the first one is when a gas is released, okay? So when you combine 2 things together,
I'm going to leave it
not
alone.
talking about you, Mr. Black.
That is chemical
So-
reaction.
Yep.
So anyway, when you combine 2 things
Active
together,
bacteria, okay.
let's say they're liquids or they're solids, and you combine them together and suddenly a gas is formed, and you haven't added heat.
Yeah.
That's
It's not
an indicator,
boiling.
yeah.
It's bubbles coming
Yep.
out from a chemical reaction. The
Yeah.
gas
Because
is
a new
given
gas
off, and
is
you'll
being
see
Yeah.
bubbles coming off.
Very commonly, it's carbon dioxide in a lot of chemical
Oxygen,
reactions,
yeah.
but
Sometimes
oxygen is
hydrogen.
formed, so
Hydrogen.
hopefully not chlorine.
Can't
Not
have it.
chlorine. You do not want chlorine gas,
Delicious
guys.
chlorine.
So
Looks like mustard.
anyway, so hopefully that one's pretty self-explanatory.
Yes, released.
Another one is a color change. When 2 or more elements or compounds mix together and you get a new color. Now, I have to say this, that just because something changes color does not automatically mean that it's a chemical reaction, but a lot of times it is, especially in the case like this. If you have 2 clear things and you put them together and then all of a sudden you have a color, that's definitely a chemical
Yeah,
reaction.
definitely.
If I take
Something
a crayon
new is
and
made.
draw on a piece of paper, I change the color. That's not a chemical
That's
reaction.
physical.
Well, did you change the color of the crayon, though?
No.
Yeah, so this is saying it's a different color
Right.
from both things.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
both of them
Exactly.
are a new color.
And that's the big thing, new color.
Not like food coloring or any of that water.
Right.
Let's look at this one. Precipitate formation. Sounds fancy schmancy. What it
Like
means
rain.
is that a solid substance is formed when 2 or more liquids are mixed together. So you're going to combine 2 liquids, and then they combine chemically, make a new compound that is solid. You can see here in this weird looking grossy yellow brownish powder, a solid's forming by
gross.
combining 2 liquids. At the bottom of your page, a little bit below these 4 things, guys, you're going to see a spot that says, what is a precipitate?
Write it down.
This is also where you'll put in there. So one of the signs is forming a precipitate, and a precipitate is when a solid forms from 2 liquids.
Write it.
Do it!
We'll wait.
And go.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's plenty of time.
All right, and finally, the 4th indicator is temperature change. And keep in mind, this also assumes you're not adding heat. to
Yeah,
it,
you're not just
Right.
boiling this again. You just add 2
Yeah.
chemicals, and
So this is-
on their own, they
this
give
is-
off heat or they
Yeah,
take
exactly.
in heat.
The 2 chemicals are by themselves. You're not putting it in the freezer or anything. But
Yeah.
when the temperature changes by themselves, okay? So there are actually 2 types of temperature change reactions,
Yep.
and these are at the bottom of your sheets. You should write these down. First is the exothermic reaction, and those feel hot because heat is being released from the reaction. So this works when you mix iron and sulfur.
True.
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah.
It's kinda-
Well, you have to, you gotta
You
heat
add
a
a,
rod
you add
and then
a
you
heat
get more
source, but
Yeah.
then that's the
Yeah.
catalyst that kicks
just
off that
starts it.
reaction.
Right, just starts. Then it
And
gets
remember, guys,
crazy hot.
A good example, though, if anyone's used hand warmers before, there are 2
Yes.
substances in
Yes.
those hand warmers. You crack them open, you mix those things
Mix
together,
it,
And they get hot.
and they get hot.
Very
Exothermic.
nice. So exo is out, thermic is heat or temperature,
Yeah,
so
That
it's
means
heat
heat
out.
released.
And
So
then
what would be the opposite?
endothermic, believe it or not.
Endo is in.
Endothermic is when it feels cold because heat is being absorbed in the reaction. Now, something that's very important to understand is that cold is not being given off by the thing. The reason why it feels cold is because it's pulling heat out of whatever is
Same
touching.
way your air conditioning
Right.
works.
So like if you were to grab a piece of metal, the reason why that metal feels cold is not because it's like releasing
Giving off cold.
It's because it's pulling heat out of your hand.
Yep.
That's exactly what happens in an endothermic reaction. What happens here is the chemical reaction pulls thermal energy out of the atmosphere as the reaction is taking place.
And
Yep.
drops the temperature because of that, because thermal energy is,
Yep.
we measure temperature as thermal energy.
And someone can be so cold that you can actually instantly freeze water, as in the little the
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did
We
that
did
in
this-
class.
we did this in
yeah,
class,
which
too,
is very
so.
cool. We froze that block of wood to the bottom of that.
And then a more everyday example is, those ice packs that you
Yes.
use.
Yeah,
And
another
the
thing.
opposite of the heat packs. You have 2 chemicals, you pop the little pack and they mix together.
Get hurt,
and
it's
it
cold.
pulls heat from
The
immediate
source.
area.
You get something
So it
dangerous like
takes in.
board gaming, you sprain your elbow, you gotta put ice on it.
Paper cuts.
It's tough, yeah. Ooh.
All right.
That's it, guys.
That's it.
Rock on.
Have a good day.